As the creator of the Moving to Long Island YouTube channel, I gotta let you in on a little secret that nobody really knows about. It's absolutely massive, this island, okay? There's so many places and things to do, and I find that a lot of homebuyers moving into the area that reach out to us through this channel generally are looking for similar things. They want the advantage of the newly renovated homes, quiet suburbia blocks, great schools and villages with access to Manhattan. So the point of these videos is to help you guys kind of narrow down which regions and search areas that you'd like to identify and you kind of feel are more centered around what you and your family need. So when you guys come into the area, we're able to easily show at least 5-6 neighborhoods that we already know we love. We have so much more information about. So I've got the map here, we've got our utensil, and I'm going to take you guys in depth on a nice little map tour here. So grab some food, a beverage, and let's check out the island together here so we can answer some of those questions that you may have. So let's take a peek here at Long Island. We'll go ahead and pinch out on this. Now this is your map. Now people don't realize this is actually from the border of Queens into Montauk is actually 118 miles. So yeah, it's a really huge place. Now what people have mostly heard is that there are a couple counties. There's two. It's Nassau and Suffolk County. Nassau being the county closest to the city. It's on the west side, and Suffolk County is over on the east side. So draw a little line here, because people tend to think that, Suffolk County is like country, smaller town living, when in reality, it takes up a huge portion of the island. So if I were to draw a line on the map, this is the difference. Okay, pinch out and show you. Now this is your border. Okay, so anything to the east of that is Suffolk County. Anything to the west, this is going to be your Nassau County. So really, as this is Nassau, I mean, you're talking about Suffolk being about 3 to 4 times the actual size of Nassau County. So a ton more towns and things that we're going to be able to do over there. The easiest way to actually go through this map tour is we're going to actually break Long Island into quadrants. Okay, so I'll clear this out. Now, everyone wants to know about the Hamptons, the North Fork, the wineries, all there is to do. And we'll get to that, of course, but I'm going to go ahead and block this out. All right, so this is your South Fork, and this is your North Fork. Okay, and we'll get to those, okay? We're gonna spend time on there, but these are primarily areas where people have a secondary home there, and a lot of you guys have reached out about primary residence and just relocating your family in general. So we'll get to these, but first we're gonna talk about primary residence. So in general, when people talk about the beaches in Long Island, they're gonna be referring to the Southshore here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and draw a line on that. Anything from your Hamptons, of course, the cream of the crop, Long Beach. On the South Shore, you're actually right off of the Atlantic Ocean here. So this is wide open waters. You're going to get rougher waves. We actually have surf competitions that come out to Long Island that will do this stuff during the summer. Up on the North Shore, I mean, of course we have water here, but generally it's a lot calmer. You'll see a lot more sailboats. A lot of the crew and, like the boating that they do in college and rowboats, they'll have their competitions here because the water's a lot smoother, calmer. The views are a bit more relaxing, and just north of that you have Connecticut. So we'll talk more about transportation to and from that as well as we go. Something I'll point out to you guys before we even get started is what happens, how do you get here? We have 3 airports that are available to the public. Any other airports that you're going to see on here, you won't have access unless you provide the jet. They're not providing the airport. So I'll go ahead and draw them out for you. Now the first one, we have Long Island MacArthur. Now I'll take you out to Queens here. We've got LaGuardia, Southside, JFK. So go ahead and zoom out here. Your orange pins are your 3 airports. Now, most commonly, I'm in Nassau County, so most common ones that we would use would be JFK and LaGuardia. Most people prefer JFK actually because there's a lot less traffic to get there. You're going southbound. It's not really that you have to get through too much city traffic to get there, although you will have some. And also LaGuardia tends to be like under construction a lot. They're always doing renovation there, so people don't really as much appreciate it. But if you go out to Suffolk County here, any chance you get to get a flight to MacArthur, take it. The only thing is that they don't have a lot of flights going there, okay? Especially international flights don't have that. It's for a public airport only for national flights. But if you can get into this airport, not a lot of gates. It's very easy to get through, and the pickup and drop off is super easy. I know like celebrities go there. I remember Trump flew in once. It's just very simple and super low key. So if you can, go for it. Those airports, by the way, are within about 40 miles of each other. So MacArthur in Suffolk, that's in the town of Islip. And then if you're over at JFK, that's going to be down in Queens. And also LaGuardia is up in Queens as well. We'll talk about Nassau County South Shore first. We'll dive into that area. Now, a lot of the more popular towns, we're going to see a lot of newly renovated homes, super quiet blocks. People come to me seeking out specific school districts, and they're all great here, really. We like to have you guys meet with the principal, set up, get a tour of the school. Some really popular ones that I've been seeing a lot town-wise. We're right in this area, and it's great for beach access as well, so I'll circle it. Okay, we call this the corridor right here. So you have your Merrick, Belmore, Wantagh, Seaford, Massapequa, and even Massapequa Park, okay? Now these, as you can see, are right along the shoreline here. So what people tend to love about these towns is you're getting a great lot size, okay? Generally, at minimum, you're on 40 by 100. So a lot of these will see 50, 60, even 70 by 100. Pretty moderate, newly renovated homes here. And the budget's pretty clean. You could actually get into something here, partially renovated. I mean, 600s. 700 is a small Cape ranch house. If you were to go full-on new construction down here, those will usually top out around 1.4 million, unless you're directly on the water here. But the other thing about these areas that's super popular, people love the location. You have Route 27 right here. So this is Sunrise Highway. It runs east to west. It goes throughout the entire island. Okay, you can actually see that thick gray line. It actually goes all the way across. All right, and this is full of stores, restaurants, as you can see, bars, all of these taverns, everything that you're going to want to do. And if you go a little bit further south, you have right here, Merrick Road. This runs also throughout the entire island. It just changes its name, but that's on the south side now. And you're getting a ton of restaurants, bars, tons of entertainment, okay? So with that, being that you're getting prime location, you have access to all the major parkways as well. So your southern states up here running east to west. You have Wantagh Parkway to take you up. This will help you get to the city. This can help you transfer out to Montauk. Really, wherever you want to go, you have access to the main highways. Other thing is the beaches. This Wantagh Parkway running north and south here. You take this down, you're going to cross a couple bridges. These are the better beaches that you're going to find over in these types of areas. What you have is Jones Beach, and this will be actually into 6 different fields. We zoom out a little bit. You have West Gilgo Beach. These are more Suffolk County. In Nassau, you could also venture off. So this is your Ocean Parkway right along here that I'm on. You can go ahead and transfer up into the loop and then get you to these other sides here. These other beaches are where you're going to have more of the, surfing competitions, a lot more room. The water's a bit cleaner than it is over here. I don't know why. But once you get to Long Beach, Point Lookout, East Atlantic Beach, Lido Beach, these are really good prime beaches. You will have to have a local membership to them. Otherwise, it's going to be about 40 to 60 bucks to pay. But down on the Southshore, these are great beaches over here. So among the popular towns, that we'll find that aren't too beachy, that would be the Merrick, Belmore, Wantagh, Seaford, Massapequa Park. If you want it more beachy, that's when you jump into Long Beach, okay? You jump into East Atlantic Beach. And they're also big-time party towns down here on the South Shore. So if you go, of course, you get your train access, and all of the ones I showed you, by the way, have direct train access. But East Park Avenue, West Park Avenue, and you also have, and you come down to the West End, okay? These are all bars, restaurants that come alive at night. Super big party life out there in Long Beach throughout nighttime. So most people love that about it. It's a beachy, come alive town. And some of the neighboring ones that'll have a little bit less on flood insurance would be like our Island Park, Oceanside, East Rockaway. They'll help keep your costs down while also giving you, easy access to those particular beaches if that's something that you want. Now, if we want to talk about South Shore in Suffolk County, so I'll take you out here. Some of the top ones I've been seeing and, different beaches. This is Fire Island. Okay, so you've heard about Fire Island. What you do is you come from Bayshore here, take the ferry out. It'll either take you to Ocean Beach, Cherry Grove, any of these, Kismet, and you're actually able to take a quick, ride out there on the ferry. There'll be like jet skis in here, a lot of boats that are kind of making their way out. This body of water is called the Great South Bay. Pretty calm, but you're going to want to be a boat if you're out there. You're not going to want to swim in this water at all. More popular towns would be Bayshore, Babylon, West Babylon, and Patchogue. If we actually zoom in, we'll start with Patchogue. This is on East Main Street here. You have a ton going on. This town comes alive. So all of these bars and restaurants that you see, Tap Room, the Cuban, Great South Bar, UST, all of that. What they do during the summertime, it's called Live After 5. So they'll actually shut down East Main Street. You can't get through. They'll shut down West Main as well. Joe's next door to it, okay? And what they're going to do is set up a festival. You have tents, games, rides, and all of those restaurants and bars are wide open for business. It's like a big party. It's from 5 to like 10 at night. That's every Thursday during the summertime, okay? So people love Patchogue because they love to party, have fun, and keep their costs down, okay? Something you guys will notice if you do a little bit of research on this is that Suffolk County, you get more for your money as far as property-wise, as far as the internal square footage goes, and access to the regular parkways. I mean, yeah, you have a ton more out there. And when you're out there in Patchogue, you'll notice we still have our Sunrise Highway. We still have our Merrick Road, turns into Route 80 here. So you're able to do a lot of transportation east and west. It'll get you to all your major parkways as well. It covers Patchogue. The other one people really love is Babylon here. Now, if you come into East Main Street again, you'll notice, you have everything moving. Okay, Montauk Highway. This is actually Sunrise Highway. It turns into Montauk Highway. And you have East Main Street as well. Okay, so you could see all of the bars, restaurants here. This town comes alive as well. Babylon at night tends to be a lot of mid to older 20s and 30s, all the way up to people in their 50s coming out here, having a great time. You just pick certain bars and restaurants that you want to stay around that, kind of age. Again, all of these that I'm showing you have train access. If you need to get to Manhattan via the train, you have that. Suffolk County has like a lot of state parks as well. So you notice like as I come out here, there's a ton more green, right? You just start to see all this green, a lot of state parks, preserves, nature, things like that. Now Babylon as well. And now just to the west of it, you have West Babylon. It's the same thing. Now if we take Little East Neck Road, that's kind of like the main street of West Babylon, where you have all of the bakery, pizzeria, food. You're going to have, your bars and restaurants down on there as well. You even take it a bit further south, past Sunrise Highway, and you're going to start to have more shops as you go. Okay, and then the two kind of interconnect. But for the most part, you'll notice a big jump up from coming from the areas in Nassau where we just were, being like your Belmore, your Merrick. You come out to Patchogue, Babylon, West Babylon, Bayshore, you're going to start to see the home prices decrease and the size of the homes actually increase. So if you're looking for a bigger home, more home for less money, maybe you want to start the search in Suffolk. Clear that out. Now, if we go up to the North Shore here, I'm going to give you a little belt to follow here. Right from Great Neck Estates up into Syosset, East Hills, Huntington, all on this water here, and even down into areas like Brookville, Muttontown, Upper Brookville, East Norwich. These are very high-end luxury neighborhoods. The properties will be bigger here, but you're definitely going to be looking at, if you want something renovated, $1 million plus, especially in Upper Brookville. Something you'll want to keep an eye on are the taxes, because that town, being Upper Brookville, Old Westbury, a lot of these like Wolf of Wall Street towns, a lot of old money towns, you're going to find a lot of things like country clubs. You have a few of them here. We've got the River Club, Fields Foundation, the Muttontown Country Club. Okay, there's a ton to offer, so the taxes are usually pretty high here. I mean, the highest I've ever seen on a multi-million dollar property was over $200,000 a year in property taxes. It was huge. Not common, though, unless you're looking at these big high-end luxury estates. Okay, areas that people tend to love as you come up north here towards the water. Port Washington is a great boat town right here. You have train access as well. And as you come into the Manhasset Bay, in these little coves, you have the marinas here. You also have Bar Beach. So this is where they actually go ahead and take the boats and they have the regattas for crew. So they can actually have those competitive boat races there. The water's fairly calm in this little inlet here because not too much open ocean, not too much boats going around flying through it. If you do work your way up a little bit north towards Sands Point, now things get really expensive. This is one of the most expensive towns to live in on the entire island. And the average, starting sales price on these are about $8 million. So pretty expensive. They got their own golf course, preserve, of town and village incorporated taxes and things that you're going to get, their own police force as well. Some of the more affordable, areas that people tend to really love up here, you're going to want to move towards Suffolk County, and I'll show them to you. It'd be areas like Huntington, and where is it? Northport, even East Northport. So when you're in this general Northport Harbor, you have Northport Harbor leads into Huntington Bay. So this area of water is fairly calm. If you buy anything waterfront here, it's definitely going to work you into the 7 figures on the price tag. But if you were to come into, let's start with Huntington. Let's not get too distracted here. You have a nice, a great village here. So you take New York Avenue, this is their main road, and you have a ton of things to do. I'll actually scroll down here. You're getting 6 harbors, brewery, the paints, the food. You have a ton of steak houses, restaurants. This is kind of where it all goes down in Huntington Village right here. Plenty to do. I've noticed that the younger crowd doesn't really go out there as much anymore. It used to be a bunch of like just 21-year-olds. Now, a little bit older. You have, also more kind of mature things to do. It really depends on the night, because they also have, the Paramount down here, so you can catch like a nice comedy show, catch a nice music performance. Let's see who's in that night. If it's something that, the kids are going to be loved and attracted to, you're going to have a lot of a young crowd going in through that town throughout the night. So definitely would want to check on that. But people love Huntington Village. The other one I was going to tell you guys about would be East Northport and Northport itself. We go into the village here. You have a ton of things to do on their main street here. You've got the cafes. You've got a bunch of, breweries as well, wine cellars. Skipper's is a nice bar and restaurant. I've actually went on a lot of dates here back in the day, where it's a great little village to take people through. And you have, right off to the side is great views of the water, the harbor. You can see boats coming in. It's actually really, really nice, and it's definitely more affordable than Huntington. So if you're combining or considering the two, go for, maybe search a little bit more, or start your search in Northport, because the taxes are going to be lower and the property size will be bigger with a lower price point as well. Okay, let's find out where we are. Just pinch out so you guys can see exactly where we are. Again, people ask about the middle of the island, like what's actually going on out here, Well, depends which town you're in. Okay, so if we look to, be more in Nassau County, which will be over here and, to the west, you can see higher price points here. Still very decent schools. Now, when you come out to Suffolk, you may have a few more options here than you think. Okay? People are loving Dix Hills. They're loving Deer Park because they're just on the border. Now, when you actually look at the border of, and the differences between Dix Hills and Deer Park, different school districts, if you prefer one over the other, you can usually fight your way in. And, the taxes and price point are substantially tend to be trending downward when you're in Deer Park. Comac, amazing schools, very attractive for families. Now, Smithtown, this is a top nationally renowned school district. It's amazing, it's highly sought after, and also the surrounding ones as well. So Nesconset, Lake Grove, Lake Ronkonkoma, they're covered by a Sachem school district, which is also highly sought after. If people can't afford the prices in Smithtown that are looking to get into the area for whatever particular reason, a lot of times they often visit the neighboring towns because there's a ton of options that they have around. So that's good. I do want to point out one thing. No one else is going to point this out to you, but remember what we spoke about before. MacArthur Airports, you have commercial inbound flight 24/7 coming in here. So keep in mind what that's going to do to the noise and property value over the long term. That's something you could deal with and go for it. I've sold, homes out here in Holtzville, Holbrook, and it's not as bothersome as you think. There will be planes there multiple times throughout the hour. If you're living there, you're definitely going to get used to it. Just something to keep in mind. There are 3 main parkways that you're going to want to know about that span from west to east in Long Island. First one is the Northern State. This carries up north on traffic going east and west. Next one is the 495. The 495 and the Northern State also overlap each other at certain points, but 495 directly is in the middle. And then you have Southern State, east to west on the South Shore. Now, the 495 has commercial vehicle traffic, okay? So trucks. You do not want to be anywhere near this parkway if it is after 3 p.m. on a weekday. You will be caught up in traffic. You are headed east, gridlock. That'll be from around like 3:30 on till 7:30. If you're actually then on the weekends, tends to free up a little bit more unless it's summertime. And heading west in those directions, your city traffic hours, that's going to start around 5 a.m. and go all the way till 9. So it's a huge 4-hour window where you're going to see a ton of traffic now headed west. So something to keep in mind, and I'll highlight these for you guys. Okay, so your southern, your northern, and remember I told you the 495 right here, it kind of switches. It goes overlapping with the Northern State here. So do just keep that in mind. Again, the only one that commercial traffic is allowed on is the 495, which is the Long Island Expressway. And as you get into Nassau County, you'll notice you have the border of Queens. That's really starting right about here. Okay, your bordering towns are going to be like Elmont, Valley Stream, North Valley Stream, New Hyde Park. And what you'll notice along these what I call boundary towns is the taxes actually get a little bit higher, okay, than if you were in Queens here. And the price point actually goes down. So it's good news if you need to be closer to Queens or closer transportation to Manhattan. But you don't want to pay Queens pricing. That's why you come out to Long Island. And these bordering towns will have great pricing. Some of them you do just want to make sure, what you're getting as far as price goes. You're really going to see anything from a typical, Cape home that could be just over 1,000 square feet interior to something along the lines of like a high ranch or colonial where you're going to see 2,500 square foot interior plus. Depends what you're looking for. There's a ton of range of options, but run out on your pricing in your area, and then you can go ahead and lock in for exactly the product that you want. But that general area, you're going to start to see prices dip. Once you get to Garden City Park, Garden City South, Garden City as a whole, these are really nice luxury towns. We have incorporated villages as well. Plenty of train going throughout. This is your Long Island Railroad. But if you're in Garden City here, this main road is Franklin Avenue, where you're getting a ton of exclusive stores, shopping. You're going to have lots to do on this strip here. So you're going to see a lot of traffic on this road. It runs north and south, but this is kind of what you pay for in that area. You get, an amazing spot with a lot of stores and shops to go visit. Now, just up north, you're able to get into the Roosevelt Field Mall, which is right here. Okay, this is one of the biggest malls in the country. Okay, it's definitely top 10. I'm not sure what it is right now, but you're getting all your major luxury brands, Louis Vuitton, Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, all the way to Dick's Sporting Goods, pharmacies, things like that. But you have a ton to do in this mall, the biggest one on the island. So definitely check it out for all your shopping needs. There's tons of traffic getting in there, but it's right off the side of the Meadowbrook. Now, this parkway runs north and south. You can get to it from the Southern State, Northern State, the 495, Long Island Expressway. Everything's very accessible here. Now, I'll get into some of the really up-and-coming areas where I'm seeing a lot of new construction and builders come on into these areas, and they're putting up amazing homes, huge lots. They're buying double lots, and there's a lot of potential in these areas. So if you're someone that's looking to buy and hold something here, maybe you're coming to New York for just a short term and you're going to want to leave the property here when you leave, I'm going to show you a couple that I really like right now. One is being Hicksville, just in between 106 and 107. Those are going to be Levittown, Bethpage, and Plainview. Now, in these areas, you're very close to the 135. As you can see, this is a parkway that's running north and south. There are commercial trucks allowed on this parkway. Ton of traffic, not so much. It's pretty open. It's got about 4 lanes on it, but you will see them at the rush hour times, that being in the morning time from around 5 to 9, and at the evening time from around 5 to 7:30-ish. Okay, but what you're seeing here, if we zoom in on Bethpage, you've got a nice town, village, you've got breweries, tons of restaurants here. So the job growth is really facilitating on their main roads. So that always leaves a ton of room for appreciation. It'll keep your rent rolls high. And the lot sizes are bigger, okay? In all of these towns, like if I go from, I was just looking at Bethpage. If I take you into Plainview here, all of these have their own fire department, by the way, their own community parks, hospitals. This is huge for rents, guys. And a lot of, people will actually relocate because of that. They have jobs as nurses or doctors, travel style, where they're going to those hospitals. Hicksville, same thing. You're just still on Old Country Road here, and you're getting a lot of that similar style. Tons of pharmacy, bakery, all these restaurants, bars. You have a ton to do. And any of these towns where there's like a ton of entertainment, these main roads, super good for appreciation, job growth, and that property, you can be very confident in most cases that it's going to hold its value over time. Okay, as promised, if I take you out to the North and South Fork, we'll start with our Hamptons here. Okay, we zoom in. These are very exclusive towns. Again, most of the time, people are going to have this as a secondary home. They have their own hospital, East Hampton, clubhouse, tons of golf clubs. You could just see all the golf little symbols here. What people like, if they're looking for their secondary homes, is there's a lot of inlets here. Okay, as you go through these homes here, okay, guys, they're going to be in the multiple million range. These are the kind of ones that sometimes often don't even hit the market. They're sold completely off market. We zoom in on the town of Shinnecock. You actually have the Shinnecock Indian Reservation. This is a legitimate government-recognized Indian reservation. They sell tobacco products here, other kind of products. They're actually very innovative. You can order their stuff through an app. So if that's something you like, you have that there. I know many people that have gone to visit and they like them there. So check them out if need be. But Sag Harbor as well, some of the really more so affluent towns up here. Now, if you go over to the North Fork, we'll circle the North Fork for you. This is going to be more your wineries, your breweries, bed and breakfast, a lot more peaceful kind of lounge stayouts. So out in Riverhead, you do have the Long Island Aquarium here. It's recognized out here. It's a great day out with the kids, the family. And generally on this side, you kind of, in a more peaceful area, but I'll show you what you have here. If you go out to Route 25, this is kind of like what starts off your little, vineyard run. We'll show you what we have here. So if we take that through Aquabog, we'll start Jamesport Vineyards. That's where you start with your first one. Coming around, you have Woodside Orchards. You're going to have Clovis Point. All these are places where you're going to find apple picking. You're going to find like, leaf, fall foliage in the fall time. So a lot of great stuff to do in the fall, relax in summer. Getting past the town of Laurel here, and more vineyards just up to the north. Harb's Family Farms, definitely something you should check out. There's a ton to do there. They are like backed the hell up during the fall season. There are so many lines. Everyone gets the stickers from there. They're always going out there, especially in the fall. Apple picking, pumpkin picking, you name it, they have it all. Macari Vineyards, we're actually headed up towards one of my favorite ones, by the way. Matatuck Airport's a private airport, keep that in mind. This is a bed and breakfast vineyard, Pindar Vineyard, just outside of Peconic. I love Pindar. Great vineyard, great food, great time out there. You have Bedell Cellars just south of them. This is just Route 25. You take this all up, you notice a pattern here. It's a lot more relaxing, lounge-style bed and breakfast. What was the one? Greenport Harbor and Brewing Company. That's a really popular one out here. People love checking that out during the brewery season, like fall, spring. Rochoa Vineyards as well. Then you get to Southold. Really just peaceful villages out here, guys, but there's really not as much going on as like Nassau County. I mean, it's still considered Suffolk County, but really not a lot of easy accessibility to the city, to more jobs. It's a ton of relaxed sort of living lifestyle out there. You do have trains, but at this point, you're roughly about 2.5 hours out from Manhattan. So just keep that in mind. Up on the North Shore here, if we do come back, just zoom out and show you where we are. Really popular towns out here in Suffolk County that I've been, like we were talking about before. We're with Northport out here. Another really great one, Port Jefferson. Okay, so if we zoom in here, you have the harbor town. When you actually go through Port Jefferson, you actually have the ferry that comes in, and it takes you through here. Okay, I actually draw the line. It goes directly out through the Long Island Sound, and that'll take you directly into Bridgeport, Connecticut. So what you'll see is they have the big ferries. They load them up with the cars there. They load up 100 cars on this ferry and take it straight out. And watching them pull in, come out, it's a really great time to have the kids out there. And this town is just full of, you'll notice they have a main street. Look at all of the bars, look at all of the restaurants, tons of seafood here, Gilbin's ice cream, restaurants, ton of great people out there. Great day to watch the boats come in. Definitely make sure you check it out. And this is also a really good spot, really good gift too as well. I got this for a couple clients. Danforth's Hotel, Spa, Marina. Great to take a weekend trip out there. It's like a little mini community, and you have a great view of watching the boats come in as well. And again, all of the towns that I showed you out here, guys, the Long Island Railroad is very inclusive of all these towns. So it's extremely hard to find a town that is not included in the Long Island Railroad system. If it's not, you are no more than about 5 minutes away from the nearest town that does. So just keep that in mind wherever you decide to start looking. And guys, I hope this video helped. If you have questions on any of this stuff, please reach out. We want to make this as easy as possible for you. So when you're doing that at home, there's so much noise and information. Hopefully this helps you narrow it down to what you like. And whether you're making the move out here in 9 days, 90 days. We love hearing from you guys. We love helping you out, and we make the process simple and smooth. So definitely reach out. All the contact information is in the description below, and I will see you in the next video.